Kader. Last. Ten.
So I think I learned that Pancata might be a John Cena fan. So that's one wrestling reference for the broadcast.
Was that the face thing?
Oh, goodness gracious, maybe. So these two teams getting ready to take the stage here at Sideshow. I think like for Loud, they might feel like perhaps, and obviously you can't take any opponent lightly, but maybe for them they feel like it could just be business as usual. But for Zeta, it's a massive opportunity for them.
I actually think there's pressure on both teams here.
Really?
Because
okay.
Both teams need to prove that their run at Reykjavik was not some kind of fluke. And actually, these teams did not match up at Reykjavik. You might think, oh, it's second place versus third place. They must have fought each other at some point. They didn't. They just dodged each other in the brackets. Loud crushed the upper bracket. Zeta went on a run through the lower. And now they get a chance to rewrite that story. The next chapter is Champions. And it's the one that matters.
Yeah, and I think that for Zeta in particular, there's some pressure on them because they have finally kind of regained their full roster. They were constantly thinking, maybe we can't play with him. Now they're back at that strength that we were able to see at Reykjavik. And can they repeat that? Can they keep that up? Is the practice that they got in with 10 enough?
I think, though, for Zeta Division, and for any Zeta fans out there, expectations should be low for Map 1.
Yes.
If you think about how the series should go, in quotes, Ascent is massively favored towards Loud.
Yeah.
And then the other two maps, Zeta have decent chances of winning. So going down one map and then winning the second is a feasible route for the Japanese team. But this first map, to me, is about whether or not the players have turned up at LAN. And Sugar Zero, Laz have done it before. Laz multiple times. Depp, who is going to be playing one of the spearhead roles for the team probably here, he actually really struggled last time. Yeah. Even though his team made third place, Depp did not turn up. So he's a player that I'm going to have a serious look at in this map to see if he can find value.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to note, Mimi, 94% win rate for Loud. On Ascent, which kind of just goes right back to that point that you were making, right? And they are going to need players like Depp, like Laz. They're going to need these guys to step up if they're going to do this. But obviously, this map 1 is going to be pretty difficult for them. And if they actually have a pop-off performance, that could maybe spell doom for Loud in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, though, that for Loud, with this map, this is comfort. They have played pretty much the same composition for quite a while when they're rocking with this map. They've stuck by that jet. They've really been enabling Osbus to go big.
All right, well, here it is, your Prime Gaming Agent Select. Let's see what we end up getting on this map. Probably not going to be expecting too many things here, Mimi, off the beaten path.
I don't know. The biggest question is about what Zeta can change, but on the side of Loud, they will stick to their guns. This is the composition that they've pretty much always played here on this map. You have Osbus on the jet, you have Sadok and Saucy on those initiators to support, and you also do go with the Omen. Zeta tends to be a very Astra-heavy team. Loud does like this Omen. That paranoia can be great to set up their star.
Zeta Division, though, also going for a very similar theme with their comp. And Ascent, they don't play a ton of, so this is a bit of a different look for them. And getting the fade in there is pretty much the only big difference, but a lot of teams doing it, and it is good.
Yeah, and they were playing the fade raise last time, which I wasn't super impressed by, so they returned to comfort here with Depp on that jet. I think another big point for them is that we do have that Killjoy locked in. It's the role that has traditionally looked a lot better for 10.
Ascent is a defense-sided map, though, most of the time, and Zeta Division are going to start on the defense. They're the only team at Champions with under 50% defense win rate in general, and they have 47% in gun rounds. I mean, they are bad at defense currently, and most of that is because they can't retake. I mean, their retakes have been shocking. So they lose 40% of their rounds just by getting into retakes that they can't win. So they cannot allow Loud to get onto the sites.
All right, well, you heard from our analysts. It's now time to dive into the matchup. Ascent is going to be our first battleground, but let's go ahead and send it over to your casters who truly are the papi chulos of Valorant. It's Doug and Buff.
Thank you so much, GB. Man, he's just so complimentary at the beginning of every throw. It's great, and we're so mean to him. We really should probably try to be nicer.
We need to get him a gift at the end of this.
we might have to. Ball, a chance at redemption for both of these squads.
Yep.
As Ades mentioned it, less than stellar performances last time we saw both of them.
Yeah, I think the Loud one stands much more clear in people's minds because it was at Copenhagen. Zeta failed to make it to Copenhagen, but they've also played a lot of international games, and they went on that miracle run. Josh has mentioned a lot about how their stats online and the lead up to stage 2 when they didn't make it through were really poor. But actually, it was the same story, and he mentioned that as well.
Yeah,
before Reykjavik, it did not look like this team had anything notable to go for them, and then they turned it around completely.
As Ades was mentioning, Zeta is going to start off on the defensive half. The opener in this best of 3, Ascent, Fracture, and Bind are on the menu if we need to get there. But early on, you're already seeing Deb go very aggressive off of the Haunted. He gets a kill.
Dude, and that's a pistol round that so many teams are going, but Aspas is not stopping. He's going to try to find an equalizer immediately.
The rotation surely have to come over soon. They've got to feel all the pressure heading in their way and their labs. But Deb, if he can continue to keep them back, he's going to be just fine on his own.
Miss Flash.
Flash just a bit outside, and Deb with the third. He's got a fourth right before him. 10 from up top. Saucy with a whole lot before him. He's gotten it down to a 1v2.
His team just left him there on that fight.
He still has 9 armor. There's still so much time left in the round.
And Sugar Zero has the frenzy. Also, they're playing the high-low in case he went for an aggressive play, which Saucy makes the wise choice not to. He still wants to. So much time on the clock, like you said, and they could get caught in the backstab.
Saucy has his dart too. Does he check glass? Oh, he's going to check it, but is he going to look all the way around? One.
Oh, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know that the alert's right beside him. You called out the frenzy. That cleans up the round. Zeta get the first.
I mean, chaotic after 10. Missed the shots to end it. Saucy could have already been taken down, and he makes it really close, an exploration mission. And unfortunately, Sugar Zero is just on the other side of that window, and it's not broken too. They go for this really nice Paperesque-esque play in A main, and it does net them a kill. You can already see Depp going over towards this jet, them giving up the chamber, is prepped, no matter what the sub situation was. And actually, it mattered here on this map because 10 was playing Raze. And that's not a role that XCLL, the sub that they came here with, was very familiar with, so.
Looking like a mid-B split here. See the Marshal in the hands of Deb. He's taking a good bit of damage, has to back up, has to give the space away. They have the alarm bot there to provide some cover. But Sadok's not going to be around for much longer. Deb, clotheslined. There's another wrestling reference for you, GB. Crow's just going to get more, and you can see Loud didn't have very much for guns. The Spectres are just kind of doing all the work in this round. Can Aspas find anything with his Sheriff? No, we can't. Zeta up 2-0.
And good patience there for them not to challenge on the B side against Aspas there as Sugar Zero comes through with the flank from Catwalk. And that's a very, very good anti-eco there. 2 rounds now, we've actually seen Loud try to go for a little bit of control on one side, and when that's not going great, in this case it was the top mid pressure, they really, really try to push the other side very fast to equalize.
We'll see if they keep up to those antics. This should be a decent round for Loud. They're going to have actually light armor the whole way. They are going to have their rifles, but that's it.
And it looks like we actually have potentially Zeta Division all up in spawn right here. So yeah, I think we're going to go for a tech timeout. And a good start from them. And they will go for a bonus now. And Josh was alluding to a little bit of their stats, right? Specifically the one about their defensive rounds being quite poor. But also, they have some of the worst bonus conversion rates out of any team here. And that is even more of a drastic difference on that defensive side. So this is an important round for them to keep the tempo. You always saw them when they're fighting through the Challengers playoffs and even at Reykjavik as well, them fighting from behind to try to come back. And it's because of moments like these where they're not able to convert the bonus.
And that felt like, that felt like the main song throughout all of Copenhagen, right? People are just busting economies half after half off of rounds like the one we have before us. So we'll see whether or not that's going to be the case. As soon as we get some info on what's going on, we will get you good people at home updated on the situation. But it's a great start from Zeta. Ball, I think you mentioned it very succinctly. Loud have tried testing waters. They don't like what they see. They go to the opposite side of the map, and while it ultimately hasn't netted them anything, it's interesting to watch some of their tendencies already.
Yeah. The fishing expeditions that Aspas is going on are definitely ambitious, to say the least. The first round, it almost netted them potentially a way back in, but just not methodical enough so far. And I think those are the types of things you expect Loud to certainly get better at as the game and tournament progresses.
It was interesting to hear the coach from Loud talk about it. Like there is a heavy dose of confidence.
Yeah.
There's a heavy dose of faith in this team. They feel very good about the fact that they have, or I mean, I guess we'll find out if they have or if they haven't, but they believe they've come into this tournament having shored up all of the problems that ruined their run in Copenhagen. And I mean, obviously it's very early to tell, but you can tell the confidence is at an all-time high with the squad.
Yeah, it also kind of felt like he was hedging a little bit on their performance through their regional stages, right?
Sure.
Because he was talking a lot about how they're getting, experience against the other Brazilian teams, and when you come to an international event, it's completely different. I think Zeta is a formidable opponent when it comes specifically to that, right? You have to be disciplined to take down a Zeta Division team who is going to be disciplined on their end. You're not going to see the same types of ranked peaking that you're seeing in Brazil that he's talking about, right? BZK.
Be interesting to see whether or not that patience from Zeta continues. I do have some info for you good people at home. It seems to be an audio issue on the stage. As soon as we get it rectified, we'll get back into the action again. A little bit of audio. I mean, minor details, right? Do you really need audio in Valorant? I mean, come on.
It's such a treat to see Zeta Division back up on the stage, though. Loud too, but we saw them at Copenhagen. It didn't go that great. Yes, I want to see the redemption arc potential, right? They were kind of befallen under the second place curse after Reykjavik, so I'll cut them some slack. Zeta we didn't get to see. That was a miracle run.
Yeah.
Something that we rarely have seen. We have not really played that much Valorant so far in the game's lifespan. There was the crew miracle run at Champions last year, and then this one is so memorable. So to see them back here again inspires confidence, inspires a little bit of giddiness in me too.
Oh yeah, I mean the question is like, is it going to be Zeta?
Yeah.
Is it going to be someone else? Leviathan, I saw some headlines. They shocked the world yesterday, and while some people may have not been as high on the Liquid train as others were, it was still an impressive win. So you look at that and you go, okay, who is it?
Yeah,
who is it this time?
Yeah, I mean there was EDG yesterday too. Showed up and kind of played right into the hype that is around that team, and unfortunately for Zeta, I think they've lost a little bit of that. I think if they went into Copenhagen, it would have been like a massive uproar to see Zeta try to make another one of those runs deep into playoffs. And we just didn't get it. Thankfully, we got a little bit of taste of them in front of a crowd, but let's see if they can try to experience that again. It's so long, such a grueling process to get it all the way through.
It really is. With a bigger field, there's so much more at stakes, and it's a gauntlet. You're absolutely right. But I think that tweet just kind of goes to what we were just talking about, right? Like, do you believe in magic?
Yeah.
Because that was the Zeta run.
That was exactly what was the thoughts on everybody's mind. They continued to stomp team after team after team in the lower bracket. And on the flip side, the desk was talking about how these teams did not play against each other. Loud went through the upper bracket gauntlet here. And it's just so interesting. Now we're here in Turkey, and we've got essentially the group of Reykjavik, right? Optics waiting later to play, and they're in this group as well. So
they'll be up next.
So interesting to see it rehashed again at the ultimate tournament of the year.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. Very quickly, I want to go back to the EDG. You think Mimi feels bad about changing her prediction after she saw EDG?
You called her out like that?
Yeah, I did.
That was completely off air. That's
I was
wild.
like kicking back there. She changed predictions on the desk.
I know. She's a flip-flop for that one.
I'm kind of sorry, not entirely sorry. Again, audio issue. We're getting back into the action very, very soon. Zeta, while the round, it was the first round. The second round less so.
Yeah.
First round was very close. Zeta have the lead here. Zeta have the advantage. And again, to harken back to what Josh was saying on the desk, this is a defensive side for Zeta, where they were they were bad, right? Like, they were bad. Let's not sugarcoat it.
No, less than 50% win rate on the defensive side, and that still netted them a grand finals berth in Challengers too, right? And this is, we're talking about stage 2 and on stats, right? When we mentioned that, I imagine that they're kind of similar when you look at the Reykjavik stats too, but either way, it's something that they need to shore up against a team like Loud, whose stats are ridiculous, by the way, on all sides, on gun rounds, everything. And we are back in the game. Aggressive look down mid for Zeta and into A for Loud as well.
Now, Les has to be careful. He's the only one who's been sectioned off, and he is going to get some info that they're pushing this way. They see the Prowler. It doesn't land, and he lands the shots on 10 instead.
Right there.
The thing is, though, they've lost all mid control. They have no presence across that area of the map, and you see Depp is already looking to take that space away.
And the alarm bot is just in time too. Penkata can retreat to help Les, but he's going to be isolated. So these guys have a chance to take this 3v4.
How patient is he? Aspas down low, can't hear a dang thing. They're dropping into smoke right in front of him. Aspas swinging around, he's able to get 1-2. Oh, it looks like they're going to trade back. Dashes right into Laz and is punished for it. Laz in a 1v2. He's not able to pull it off. Louder on the board.
And Les just destroyed the top mid flank. That was crucial. He needed to be isolated because even in that final situation, it could have been a 1v1 on site. As the player from A main maybe had a chance to flank, but completely shut down, well handled from Loud. And I was mentioning the struggles that Zeta have in bonus rounds. That's the first one, and it continues to certainly be a problem. I think Loud played that great, though. The way, not even just on the site, but the way they handled that round entirely. Their execute starts as Les, who realizes the situation is Shark Attack. And that's the cue for them to go. They know that there's space, and they know they're an advantage.
Aspas using the Blade Storm right off the bat. There's Saucy has his ultimate to work with as well on the side of Loud. Going back to the middle of the map, Aspas, the tip of the spear. Gotta get a shot at depth. First 2 blades, go a bit wide.
They used a lot of utility there, but they did net at least some safety.
Whoa. Where is that Hunter's Fury? It's get canceled instantly.
Yeah. Great night from Laz.
And you kind of wonder like what it was that he saw in that moment.
What a read! How did he know?
Obviously has X-ray vision. Sugar Zero not around much longer. And they do still have some time, and they do still have the middle of the map to work with. Also note, the Blade Storm's still available. He dashes forward. Aspas up top. The Cloudburst to provide some cover. 10 not able to land the shots. Aspas not either. Has to give the space back up. Now we're down to 40 seconds left. How many options do you have?
Alarm bot out.
Knife misses. There's going to be a good bit of utility there.
They have so much space. Oh, they're going fast with the lockdown. This keeps them off of the site. This could be huge.
Aspas behind them, creeping his way forward, and they've spotted him. He's been dropped. Now Laz using his own ult. It's a 2v2 here. Laz weak.
They can't push the lockdown.
No, 10 gets it to half. Is he going to hold it the entire way? Yeah, Timmy the Turret providing cover! And he gets the defuse.
Unbelievable decision. They just put the lockdown down and spawn and try to cover it from inside of sight. They just go so fast. Never seen that done before.
And you've got, I wish we could see it again because Les's kill at the very end there, that could not have been closer.
You just saw it. I'm not sure if Pancata was able to see him. He tried to sneak past the one-way. Right as the Hunter's Fury was getting canceled, so he just gets unlucky, but they still win the round. Remember, that was a 4 versus 5.
It's crazy.
From Loud.
Excellent. Sorry, you hear the other Blade Storm used this time from Depp. We'll see what he can do with it.
2 big ults here from Loud, though. The KO ult already popped. The lockdown, too. They could use that in the post plant.
Ooh, but that knife out from last spotted a whole lot of people down A long, and they're going to persist. They're going to go forward.
The problem here is they're broke, too. They might have won the last round, but they didn't win that bonus and lost all players.
Depp is the key here. Can he find some success with that Blade Storm? We got a couple of Sheriff's Crow as a frenzy, too. The delay from the Nano Storms, man. No one wants to get anywhere near that, but the timing isn't great for Aspas. Lands the shots anyway. Depp has been so tagged up. He's been so peppered. A prime gaming flawless comes through his Loud punch back.
And there was definitely no fight there from Zeta. I realized because I was so hyped that their buy was so weak when that hit started. So it did. Loud did using ults in that situation. Potentially not expecting what the... Oh my.
I love those kills. Hold W, spam into a smoke. Why not?
And also great angle from Aspas on top of that box to control everything on top of mollies that Les is throwing. And great to see Les fragging as well, because he was a star at Reykjavik, not a star at Copenhagen.
7-2 start for the young buck on the side of Loud. He's got that lockdown still to work with. And he's actually on the opposite side of the map right now. His team looking over towards A. So it seems like they're expecting mid-aggression from Zeta here.
Concealment.
As soon as the drone pops, Sugar Zero pops his own smoke.
Obscuring vision.
He's trying to work a pick.
This pass, dashing forward, going into his first and the second cloudburst. Cover still his. The flash in his face. The door goes down. What do they do? Do they try to shoot it down? Do they try to push forward? No, Sugar Zero was left alone out there on an island. 10 close by. But what defenses are left? Dap still causing problems from the other side of the door. Switch clear, but Les once again on the flank. He's got a chance to blow this thing up, and no, Depp is wise to it, but is the timing gonna land his way? No, it's not.
Removed.
Les takes care of him. 3v2 in favor of Loud. Note that Les still has his ultimate. If things get hairy.
And Tree, that's a good spot for it.
Yep. How do they get out?
Last player
Hellbound
standing.
Hound. Crow not able to get it. Can Laz do any of it himself? He drops one. But that's all it's gonna be. We're tied up at 3-piece.
And a great round again from Loud. They're just really abusing their default and giving room for Aspas to work picks. They just slowly work their way out on A side.
And again, they have good cover. Les continues to play in tiles, and he's got that area of map control. It's a great setup. It's early map control, and then you have the flank you have to consider at the end of the round.
Yeah.
Even when you get what you want.
Well, also, it's conditioning too. You're going to be able to see certain things, at least in the side of Zeta Division. Where is Les? Is he in mid?
Exactly.
They're probably still going for their default. But at the same time, there's room here for Zeta to spot certain things, because it's been predictable, I think, so far from Loud. The way that they're working at A main, very little utility being thrown at the beginning of the round anywhere else on the map as they walk and approach through A main. It is a nice attempt, though, I think, from them, because they're aware of how Sugar Zero is playing on the site. He's playing really passive, right? He's just trying to jump spot, see if there's utility coming through, then he pops his smokes, and he's trying to play around them on site. There's actually a nice molly thrown as well from 10 to try to support and potentially fight on that site. But it's just too slow.
Zeta, as you can see, call a timeout. We're nearing the end of that. Again, a very close affair. Perhaps predictability, perhaps close rounds going either which way, but the way it crumbles, we are tied up at 3-piece here on Ascent. We'll see if they continue their default or off of a timeout. Oftentimes, this is when you see a little bit of spice, right? Something a little different.
Sure. I think it should be an eco here, though, from Zeta, and it will be.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though, because right now in this round, you're seeing them swap the Killjoy over towards the A side. You have Sugar Zero potentially playing towards the B side. Actually, no, they're going to decide to stack over towards A, but that's something I think that they might try to do, right? Where maybe that Fade can get a little bit more value. Because right now, he's just on haunt duty on B main.
Laz once again finding value with this knife. I believe tag 2 there outside of B main. The drone, clear out, any pesky little corners, and you see Laz already preparing to drop some utility. But it's going to be a very similar hit that we've seen that allow the paranoia, the dash, to try to create some space.
Ooh.
It's a great startup from Sugar Zero, though. Laz is also playing backside. They haven't given up very much space.
They're in sight!
Yeah, they haven't given up an inch! They haven't given up a single inch! Now Sadak and Pekkada, though, 2 left. We'll make it just 1. What a round out from Zeta!
Exactly the type of round as well that gave them 3rd place at Reykjavik. And they're doing it to the runner-ups. What a thrifty. And again, that fast-paced push into B site. You realize the moment that that was happening. All of a sudden, Laz falls off. He goes his nade lane. And the haunt combo that they had with that smoke, they all just get in it, and it actually works really, really well. So Loud not prepared to break that as it falls behind them. So really, really good stuff from Crow, which we were just mentioning. Wasn't really finding value over towards that B side.
See, as it seems like Loud go back to what has gotten them to this point so far. You've got Les playing tiles, the rest of the team working A and mid.
A little bit more up cat here, though, and Aspas is aggressive. Las recognizes that, though, but he's given so much space up.
Les is also much closer. The paranoia out from Pekkada doesn't tag anything quite yet. Laz with the counter flash of his own. He's spamming across the smoke. Has to give the space back up. Tree is lost, but Les finds a kill already.
Just spotted 10. I don't think he knows, though. The molly, it's a kill combo.
Fast. Being behind Jenny. 2 targets right before him. A little high, a little low. Pekkada is able to provide some cover. but it wasn't enough. 10 cleans them up. They've gotten the spike onto the side, and once again, they have to worry about the late flanks that are coming through, but they're wise to it yet again. 3 for Less, 4 for Loud.
That is cold from Les, too. You mentioned awareness, and he is perfectly timing his turn there. Potentially Sugar Zero a little fast on that one. They had 3 ults to play into that, and not a single one used. But look at this. They're fighting so long to help and fight the player who's gotten into Gen. That's Aspas.
Yeah.
Because of all the smokes that are going down on that execute, there's so many weird angles that you have to be paying attention to there. And unfortunately, Zeta's not able to convert any kills off of it.
Quite the far cry from what we saw in the previous round. Now again, Zeta in this weird buy situation. Laz has a shorty. That's really all he's got.
Yeah, he's now playing Chamber this time too, so.
He's going to be posted up a tree, so keep that in mind. If anyone goes that way, you've got a chance for fireworks. While Depp with the op holding middle of the map.
If you're just joining us too, first time you're watching Zeta in a while, Laz giving up on the Chamber on this map and going back to his prior role of Initiator, which he played all throughout 2021 essentially. And he was just as good at that role. And we're already seeing some really nice value out of the KO, but definitely not going to have the same power as Chamber. Here he goes again, onto Cap.
Yeah, Zeta should have a really good idea of what this hit is. They know that Dem got smoked off, and as soon as that smoke went up, they were in the middle of the map. But I think they've slightly misread what's going on here. The Nightfall across A doesn't tag. Maybe it tagged 1?
Oh, you're right. They're misreading this.
Yeah, just
rotating
barely.
off, but there's still room for them to work. Sugar Zero's still here. Don't forget.
Hunter's Fury, Sugar Zero up top, like you said, gets 2, and the spike. Oh, it's clean! It's Sugar Zero gets the 3rd.
Left. I need a stop. Obscuring vision.
Now he smokes off their main too. There's no way in for Saucy. Les with a massive flank, but I don't even know if there's time. He has to make it through mid. He's got to put his sneakers on. Get running. And they're giving up.
Yeah, you just gotta go super fast, man.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, there's just no way. Fight, trying to get the op out. Nope.
Yeah, he's not even going to be able to cross. Oh, no.
Wait.
That's close.
Wait, just to darn.
4 seconds to plant. Sometimes I just don't trust, the number at the top of the screen. Don't trust my eyes, whether I have the reaction time to tell it or not.
We're way too old to be doing that. 3 ults for Loud as they carry that into the next round, and it was ultimately Sugar Zero's stall here, Bala, that won Zeta the round.
Yeah, this was really, really nice from him. He's using the time that Loud actually used a lot of, I don't know, their pressure, right? At the beginning of the round. They were fast. Laz had to use his nade. And then they used that time of quiet to reposition. And that was where Sugar Zero's getting away from any Hunter's Fury lanes. He's playing up Heaven. That's not normally a place where your anchor's playing. Because he knew our team was kind of in the middle of rotating there.
Loud calling a timeout here. Again, it's been a bit tit for tat this entire map. And with that in mind, knowing that we're nearing the end of the first half, it seems like Loud are going to try to take control of the situation and see if we get something different out of this timeout. Remember, the last time we saw this timeout, it was from Zeta, but they went towards B and they got obliterated off of Zeta's pistol. So we'll see if they try to dial up something different. We've seen heavy mid, we've seen heavy A, just not a ton B.
The fast retakes towards B, I think, is something that they're concerned about.
Yeah.
And I think it's for good reason. Though, the way you can crunch those is you fake it, right? We haven't seen that from Loud at all.
Yeah.
The possibility of them throwing in fakes right now, I think Zeta is really kind of just not biting on anything, and that's giving them full, normal, advantaged fights on the site. It's not advantaged, but not disadvantaged either.
Sure. Sitting on the fact that if we see something, they're going.
There's really no misdirection.
Yeah.
This round, there is no less over towards B main. But he still has this turret there watching. It's actually a really nice turret where you can spread really wide here.
And Depp is there with the op. See if it triggers. Again, you just saw Aspas with his Blade Storm. And is it going to be another fast hit? It looks like it is. There's nobody on A right now, though. Oh, and they just heard the opposite tree. Aspas going up top. No challenge quite yet.
Here.
Important here, Sadak did not use his nade, so he can potentially use it to break this lockdown that's coming. Sassy with shock darts too.
2 lockdowns soon. There's a nade that you just mentioned. First one goes down. Will the second one persist? It seems like that will be the case.
He's going for it still.
Well
A gentleman's agreement as both teams decide to pause on the round, and then the gunfire erupts. Numbers in favor of Loud as they continue to push their way forward. The spike planted. Laz trying to find something, no.
This team gave up on him. They were gone as he dropped, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to take that fight because that smoke that they were using potentially to drop out was covering, so they couldn't fight. Good wall, but still, there was just too much from Loud there. They had the counter lockdown, which made them really cautious of approaching the space, of approaching Laz entirely. And then as well, their lockdown just instantly obliterated by the nade. That nade's not actually that easy to, I mean, it's easy to land, but not easy to choose which spot that lockdown actually is. It's a split second, noticing, hey, where's the dot? Ooh. That's nice. That's a combination of the lockdown they were using inside of A main. So he knows that potentially people are sitting in that corner. Well done, Pancata.
Tied at 5-5 apiece here. 3 members on the side, well, 2 now on the side of Zeta with light armor. Operator still in the hands of Deb. Carries that over from the previous round. We'll see if they do anything interesting with Pancata's ult. Haven't seen a ton of like crazy TikTok-y plays quite yet.
Yeah, I know. At
It
this
would be
point,
nice, though.
yeah, at this point, very difficult to get those off, though, right? TikTok is useful for, oh, that's cool. Not useful for much more outside of gimmicks. Gimmicks are nice. And picking up the op is not super uncommon. Look actually at the position of Sugar Zero. He's got stars spread really wide, and that's an anti-KO setup. Sadak, who's sitting A main, they've used it every time, instantly towards A main. This time it's a lot more quiet.
Once again, very similar to what we've seen in the last couple of rounds. Last playing really far back. Seems like it's all about timings for Loud so far. You hear that no command come through, Deb smoked off and decides to push forward. What a lunatic. He's got the dash proc. He hears one go through, swings out, oh, and it just narrowly misses. Brushes the shoulder, but Deb doesn't miss twice. Numbers in favor of Zeta. For now, Loud looking to equalize the matter. Aspas left in this 1v3. Laz's ultimate, no armor to his name, weak health. The spike's so far away, though.
30 seconds left.
How the heck does Aspas do this? There's certainly no way.
Just waiting. Reminiscent of pistol round, waiting for him to pick up the spike, but they're getting too far away. He might get Laz, and
He's gotten him to at least 1v1. But 10 wins the second. Zeta hits 6.
a lead right now. Potentially,
Last round in the half.
they have the opportunity to win the half. When
on
there were
the weaker side.
and there were many doubters specifically about that exact.
Mainly Josh.
This could be a really good game so far from Zeta Division. Already above their averages. Already you're seeing players who needed to step up on LAN doing just that. But most importantly, the team play and prep is already there.
No extra oomph behind this punch for Loud. Just that ultimate from Pancata that we mentioned in the previous round. No Hunter's Fury, no command, nothing. Oh my gosh. And no ass pass either. Can he find a second? Death on top. Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
And without Aspas, that's a huge thing for Loud. They rely on him so much for entry picks.
Look at the pivot. Previously it was Les who was running back in spawn, making sure the flank wasn't coming through. This time it's Pancata, but it's because of his ult. He should be able to, if they take B, he should be able to get over there quickly.
Again, predictable. And it looks finally like Sadak wants to poke over towards A and they hit B, but look, there's still mollies and there's still even Crow's fade utility here. So while this fake might be the first time it actually works out, never mind. There's no follow-up.
Yeah. And there's nothing behind the punch.
C's is perfect too.
Ult comes through. Les swings out. Can they find anything? Oh, of course, there's a judge in the hand of Les. Excuse me. Saucy trying to spam through the smoke, see if he can get a free one of his own. He's going to push forward. He's not going to find anyone back there.
And it's important here, they can't pivot anymore now that they lost Pancata.
Yeah. Note here, keep a third eye on Sugar Zero. He's going to be the late flank, working his way through mid, and they've got them boxed in right now. There's no time to go anywhere else. They have nowhere that they can go, and they just get destroyed. A 7-5 half for Zeta.
Winning the half is massive here. Again, the weaker side, and they pull it off.
Excellent start out from Zeta. We'll see what the Death thinks about that first half. GB?
I should probably place some cards in the astral
Well, there is one thing that you guys did say. Sideshow did not believe in Zeta whatsoever.
He never does.
Truly an awful person. Sideshow, your thoughts?
Why is this always the narrative?
I don't make the rules.
No, they did play quite well, actually. I thought that Zeta had a nice adaptation, and specifically a couple of the players that we were looking at.
Yeah.
You know, Depp performing well, and less on the other side too for Loud. Having a good performance here gives you an idea that the individual performances, the players you're looking at that didn't go crazy, Copenhagen or Reykjavik, are actually turning up.
Yeah, now he's back on that comfort, playing the Killjoy. He's freed up to really slow down the game and playing the lurks. Loud is playing a super execution-heavy style, so having him in play, having him to kind of come through in the late rounds and save those posts when Zeta's playing that heavy retake is super pivotal.
Yeah, however, I feel like Zeta Division did a great job of reading the style that Loud play on Ascent. It's very execute-heavy. The whole server felt like a retake simulator.
Yeah,
Loud just sent 5 or 4 people
No
towards the
mid-rounds
site.
here at all.
No mid-rounding whatsoever. Now, this pistol round, I think, was gorgeous. It's one that a lot of other people are starting to use with the Fade Horn and Depp getting online. I think they definitely need another one of these heading into the next half and just secure it out. This would be such a blow for Loud losing Ascent.
Yeah, it really would be, and I think the momentum they managed to build off of this round was really nice. It's just that kind of vote of confidence off the start for this Japanese squad. They're showing us that they can kind of have that slower style, that they can have those preset plans, but they can also change up on the fly. We were worried about those retakes. They showed us that they can do it. Now on the attack, we get to see what they've prepped up in those executes. Loud, though, they are a very strong defensive team, and especially with Aspas on that jet, fighting for that extremity control really often with his 2 initiators, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you're really looking at Aspas, Sadhak going aggressive on defense here. Loud still have a great shot on this map.
All right, well, it's still anyone's ball game here. Let's send it back over to the casters.
Thank you, GB. Yes, a very close affair between Zeta and Loud. A narrow lead, but as they were mentioning, there's really no telling what happens on the other side of the proverbial ball.
Yeah, and it is only one half, so this trend of us already leaning into Zeta, or to Josh, who's hating on Zeta, I think is a little early because, like everybody said, so much to play. And Loud, too, you just saw. Such a good defensive team.
He does make it easy.
I mean,
He does make it easy. Zeta exploring the middle of the map here, at least Depp is. Got a little bit of help with Crow close behind.
and if we didn't see much mid-rounding in the first half, we're going to see a lot. This is Zeta's bread and butter.
I mean, the two stories could not be more different. Heavy execute out from Loud. Zeta burn the clock down. They're so methodical. They're so patient.
Look at the setup, though, here on Cat. Kata's on tree. He could easily get some spam shots with a dart from Saucy.
And you see the setup. The smoke, the haunt, the dash.
Oh, they're so low already.
Whoa! Where did Saucy hit that from?
He's in tree right now. And it's just great runouts.
Tap just narrowly missing the timing there. Sidestep, Frenzy not going to land. And look at him playing in the smoke.
They're double swinging this, though.
Oh, Zero's been so good in these spots!
Oh.
But is there a trade? No, there's not a trade! How is it not traded out? The pistol goes in favor of Loud.
And Josh said how important it is for them to win that pistol. You saw the very, very well-rehearsed pistol round from Zeta Division inside of A main, and they're not that good at converting them. They sit around slightly above 50%. Loud, on the other hand, fantastic. Most of their stats regional. But that was huge. Remember, so much the crucial rounds. I think he also...
May have done some slash damage to another, yeah.
Really, really nice.
Vamos, caralho! O pistol é nosso, velho! Vamos, porra! Amassar de defesa agora, velho!
Smiles all around for Loud. Again, just the first round in the second half, but statistically, this is their sweet spot. They're very comfortable here.
Don't forget the one thrifty round so far that's been had in this game. One in the favor of Zeta. Loud grouping a lot here in mid. They're much more dynamic so far, but the push is coming in towards Pankata instead.
There's so much utility here too for Glass, and there it is. The first nano goes through. You've got a Paranoia out from Pankata. And now you've heard that the Glass gets breaking out. There's a Paranoia. Haunt not spotting anything. They've been so well concealed, and they're dealing all sorts of damage.
Spike down A.
Depp gets 2, which is honestly more than I expected with that Sheriff. And that's all he's good for. Pankata gets a 3rd on the round. Loud's highest up at 7.
Really, really good hold as they come stomping down Cat. And the split really, really nice. Pankata, unless you could see the 2-man unit that they were running with. wow, the rest of the team was just working inside of middle, kind of seeing which side Zeta Division was going to poke at the beginning of the round. And so they're fast on the rotate too, but they didn't even need it.
There may be something fast set up here defensively from Loud. Look at how far up they're postured, both in B main and mid.
And Aspas does have that Vandal.
And look at the pings on the map.
Here it comes.
There it is. There's the dart, the paranoia, but the paranoia doesn't tag. They've invested so much just to see if there's nobody there.
Yeah,
and
but
now
look,
you see the early rotates.
Look at the difference. We saw this exact situation happen on the bonus on the first half. The Zeta Division did not get any kills. They didn't stay, and they're worried about going into A main. And it's coming so late while Loud is here already.
Dev goes forward. He's been isolated. He's got the Han over shoulder to make sure that there's no one there with him. 10 drops. That was the cover on the flank. Now they're going to have to worry about that as well.
They do hear it. Sugar Zero is already getting in position to fight it, but it's all the bait. He's going to continue to flank, though, and that could be massive.
Does he wrap all the way around? Still has one SAR left to work with, and yep, he's creeping forward. Time ticking away. Zeta hang on as best as they can to control of this site. And again, the timing is everything here. Tucks under hell, Dart not spotting anything, but they find the kills that they need.
Come out.
Gotta go fast, too. There it is. The defuse pause for now. 3v2. They've got the smoke to provide some cover. It's a massive kill up for Sugar Zero. He's not able to find anything else at all. Zone to Crow. He's healthy. And my goodness, Saucy's not. They haven't even gotten it to half. He's gonna have to stick it. He's gonna have to hold it. He gets one kill, but the trade comes through. Half saves the day for Loud.
They instantly swap there, too, on the diffuser.
So clean.
Last full HP to take the fight. Saucy, very low. Well played from Loud on the shark attack, and they convert the bonus. The difference could have been made just then in this game, in this first map. Good composure from Loud in the situations that they need. Sugar Zero had a chance to potentially do a little bit more, but also Loud worried about that. As soon as it comes out, they're off the defuse. They have to make sure that they get that kill down. And let's see again, Sadak wants to get inside of B main. They're doing a great job with the extremity control. Actually have both sides, A main and B main right now.
Just funnel them to mid, and you already see the rotations from out. Look at where they're facing on the minimap. The drone, 3 people close by to challenge. You've also got mid that's being taken away as they're just flash there. It's a very good flash. The Cloudburst provides some cover, and Saucy's there to save it again. Aspas still has it. Oh, he had that dash ready to go. Blast swings out.
One enemy remaining.
Clean shots out from Saucy too. This was a lighter round for them, but yeah, either way, clean out from Loud.
Well, I mean, now they've got the lead in pretty comfortable as well. As a couple ults come up for Zeta, this one's crucial. They've got to reverse the trend right now where Loud is getting all the space early. It's something that has been, I think, certainly a pattern for Zeta, right? Where they give up a lot of space early, but then they're able to work back at it in such good fashion. I don't necessarily think they have the tools on this map specifically. I'm thinking back to the split games that they so commonly able to work those mid-rounds. So there might be another shark attack here. Yeah, they're just going for it again. Missed the flash.
Paranoia doesn't land, but the dart does. They know that 10's there, and 10 somehow still gets a kill. Dep's there to give numbers back in favor of Zeta after the trade. Uh-oh. Sugar Zero, again, just on the other side of the smoke. Saucy going exploring. Sugar Zero had no idea, but the bullets don't land. May have gotten a bit more than they bargained for here as Loud are heavily outnumbered. They're going to have to pull off some sort of miracle, and perhaps the miracle comes in favor of Saucy, and now less! This was a 4v2 that they've snatched back!
Enemy remaining.
It's gotten down to a 1v1! Oh, now they've got the lockdown. He's got the spike is nowhere near him. He's going to have to clear that out and make a play for that space.
Plenty of space, and he has smokes too. If Les commits all the way back into spawn, he can get smoked off. And yep, there it is. And Les wants to fight it.
61 HP.
I need to stop blocking vision.
Now down to 21. The swing is there. Les lands the shots. They were so outnumbered.
But they don't expect the Sova and the Killjoy to be following that after they win the fight against the Shark Attack. You 100% expect, yeah, Pancata, the Omen, the Jet, the KO are going to be aggressive, but when all those guys fall and you see it's just Killjoy and it's just Sova, there's no way those guys are pushing the follow-up. There's just no way. And also, you don't necessarily even expect that 2 rounds in a row. So final timeout used here. I think Loud played that really well, but specifically less too. You saw the way he repositioned after that smoke went down. Immediately he knows he can't be close to this yet, so he can't actually take this space. And he recognized the blunder from Sugar Zero.
Another timeout comes through, this time from Zeta. They have a lot of ultimates to work with here as we turn our attention to the next round, but the money's not in a great shape, Paula.
This is the type of moments that you consistently were asking at Ranking League. Do you believe in magic? Because they're going to have to pull out a 50-round win, I think.
Again, this will have to be their second.
Super low economy. But it's getting to the point where Loud has so much rope to work with. If they go up to 11, just 2 rounds needed.
For as much as we've talked about very quickly, Les and how he kind of struggled previously, and what's he going to do now? 21-8. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Those are the types of guys you want at the top of the scoreboard at the beginning of a tournament. You know Aspas is going to be consistent. He's picked up the op now too, so another thing for Zeta to have to deal with. 2 players, the Jet and the Killjoy, get knifed there. Not so much information given.
I wonder if they hold here and get 10, this orb, and then just fully send everything to get into A.
Well, the re-exploration right now is giving up a lot of space. They might be able to get just completely past Sadak here.
Note that it's Crow who has the spike.
Oh, they just jumped. There was just noise there, so Sadak is instantly able to put down that nade.
Oh, and they push forward into it. Def and 10 have gotten through, but the rest of the team has to wait. They have to delay. Door down, the spam. So much for Sadak to have to deal with. Def taking a whole lot of damage. There's 100 Fury. Crow still hasn't got the spike down. Saucy finds one from across the way. Now the paranoia in the face of Deb. He still gets one, but he gets traded out for it. Numbers heavily in favor of Loud, and it doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon.
And the Hunter's Fury shuts down the actual push too. Outside of main, the only hope they had was to get past Sadak fast enough. And that noise, the little bit of jump noise, just costed them an opportunity in that round, because there was no way after that.
The only other cue that they had was the Astra smoke, and even then, like, it could be from anywhere, yeah.
Here we go again.
Still 4 ultimates from Zeta, but this time with guns, this time with armor.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to be much faster here on the A main control. Actually challenging what Loud wants to do at the beginning of the round.
There it is, it's fast. Pulled through, but it seems like they tempered things for just a moment. Knife causing some problems. Now the scams once again.
There's a hunt here for actually Depp to try to take advantage of, and he just missed it. Still, Nightfall available, Lockdown available, Cosmic Divide too.
Oh, the flank fight, and he goes into Astra form, and he misses the flank. They've gotten right past him.
The alarm bot's down too.
How have they missed this? They have no idea. Crow not realizing there's someone right behind him, and there it is.
But he doesn't know Sugar Zero too.
Flanker about to get flanked. Is the timing going to land their way? Zeta with almost nothing for numbers. Can Sugar Zero find something? He's just not going to show up in time. Pass is weak, sure.
He didn't get half.
Yeah, he's pulled him off. Turret cleared out 58 HP. He has to push forward. He's gotten past the shot. The spam is there. A 1v1. Pass weak. Sugar Zero as well. The tap, the swing, the shots, and Sugar Zero with the Red Bull clutch.
What a play! The mistake to let the player through, but still comes through with the 1v3 at the final moment. And he's so decisive. This is why this guy turned so many heads when he made his international debut.
The hop shot buzzes his ear.
That smoke went down in milliseconds after he got the first kill. And he was just pushing, just through the smoke. Gives him a gap to peek out. What a clutch.
Magic. 11-8 in favor of Loud. Still hanging on to that lead. But remember, this is Zeta slowly, they have shown a tendency to claw their way back into things. We'll see if they can do it again. Dash through with the Prowler in his face. And off of that, mid-control, a little bit towards Zeta.
But it is so difficult to break Loud. Look at how dynamic they are on this side compared to what we saw on the... Look, they're re-clearing B main again. They just fought a little bit in mid, helped Aspas get away, and now they're retaking the space. And they're never really fighting. They're always getting enough space that they can make the right reads. Like right now, they're rotating Sadak and Sasi all the way over towards A.
And if that's not enough, you have Les, who's tucked in a ratty little corner. That's exactly where the spike is headed to. This setup could be disaster for Zeta. The Prowler's not going to reach. It doesn't even clear him. Do they swing him?
Out.
Les, patient. Oh, he sees everything, but he gets nothing in shit exchange. Last so weak, and he falls. Numbers once again in favor of Loud. And both members of Zeta
30 seconds left.
right next to each other. Spam through smoke. Sugar Zero gets across.
Got this crossfire right now.
Yeah, but Sugar Zero's so far away.
There's no way they know. Oh my goodness.
That shock dart.
One
Fancy
enemy
footwork keeps him alive. It comes into a 1v2. Zeta once again outnumbered, and this time there's nothing to it. Loud, map point.
And look at the money, Doug. There's nothing left.
Bad.
There is nothing left. Just a couple of ults. And that's not how you want to go into match point against Loud.
No.
Their conversions on these anti-ecos, they're solid. And we've seen it over and over so far. If he's able to get that kill, maybe he has a chance, Crow. But there was just not enough support over towards Sugar Zero was trying to do, but also not enough time. Crow was pressured on two sides, on two fronts.
You see Loud already going for the jugular. The spam with the Odin, the op-looking cat. Manages to avoid the haunt. Takes the space right back. This buys a blissful from Zeta.
Sugar Zero's catching on, though. He's really trying to make sure Loud has to be holding these positions and reacting off the information they're giving them. Prior rounds, there was no information to be garnered from Loud, other than the lack of information. This time, they're showing something. They can't make the same reads, but they are walking still into the kill for the setup.
Tower down.
It also doesn't look like there's a setup for a fake or anything. Maybe if Crow's on the other side with his Nightfall, you give him a little something to think about. But no, the Cosmic Divide. And there it is. Oh no, Saucy gets two right off the bat. Whatever's left behind that push has been neutered.
Flipping the map now, trying to make it all the way back towards Cat.
But they're so terrified of what's on the other side of the Cosmic Divide because they have no map control anywhere else. They have to burn their flashes. They have to shoulder peek through this.
Oh no.
Paranoia on the other side though. Cat there, he's waiting. Laz, I believe, was hit. And Aspas from up top with the blades. 13 seconds left. Yep. It doesn't get much easier than that, dear friends. A 13-8 win to clean up map 1 for Loud.
And it's again them getting there in time. Really, really good second half from Loud. You saw all of their strengths, I think, on that defensive side.
That was almost perfect.
The way they were moving the map was beautiful, I think. Anyways.
It's going to be a good one. We've got double duelists on the side of Zeta, a team that is known for being slower, maybe a bit more methodical.
Yep.
Josh is right. It's going to have to be Go.
Yeah, and
Let's go.
it's all on Depp as well, who has played Neon for them in the past on different types of maps, but it's always been very hit or miss with him, and we'll have to see if he can actually have the slower button, the slower pace that you see from players like Victor, and not necessarily the let's go, 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 because I don't think Depp can pull off the style that players like Forsaken or Jing could.
Already heavy aggression towards B from the defending side. You've got the vintage setup at this point, and it nets them the kills that they're looking for, but Golden traded back. Loud gets one with the nade. 10 trades it back with the nade of his own.
We are 20 seconds in the round, and we're already at a 2v2. But look at the HP on Loud side. 13 for Les, 28 for Sasi. Full on the other sides.
I thought about trying to do the math there. I'll just pass. There's like a rule. You don't do math on camera.
Uh-huh. Well, you're not on camera, so go ahead.
Oh, that's true.
No, go ahead.
84 HP.
Nice. Yes, correct.
Quiet round. Down to a minute left in this. And for as much chaos as there was at the beginning of the round, it comes to a screeching halt.
The problem here, though, is you actually have no clue what's happening on this defense. And also for the defense, I mean, there's just so many holes right now. They could be coming behind you if they walk through halls, because I don't think they can hear the door open. There's just so much time falling down right now. They have nothing to actually cover off the
30
gaps unless they
seconds left.
walk up tower.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're both here now. Both Zeta Division members are here.
They're going to go low. Laz holding the angle with the headhunter, and they're going to walk right into his crosshair.
Last player standing.
Les trades it back, though. He's
Spike
so weak,
down,
man.
B.
13 HP. You see his knee, you see his elbow. You get the kill. Crow cleans him up. Pistol again in favor of Zeta.
The first pistol. Exactly the same story. That one was a really, again, a nice set piece, I think, right?
Yeah.
We saw the paper wreck strat on Ascent. This time we see basically every team, whoever runs Neon strat. Throw a fault line, throw a double stun. The nade was good, though, from 10-2. The reaction from Loud was just to face, which they had Pankata and Aspas out there, so maybe you want to definitely try to fight. But it's hard to get through that smoke that Sugar Zero's putting down.
Toxins going up.
See the Viper wall going up. Not nearly the same level of aggression. Slightly a bit more muted, but you even saw on the minimap, Zeta took the same level of space off of utility at the beginning of the round. They have full control of halls right now. It was off of Breach's utility. So you're going to see them try to set the pace, as Mimi was saying on the desk.
And there's nothing really to react here. Saucy thankfully does have underpass control, given the teammates up on top in Arcade. And Laz is completely isolated here. They're not really rotating off of the fact that, look at 10, he's literally wide swinging the south side. Finally they rotate, but it might already be too late because this Arcade push is so ready to pounce on Laz. Thankfully the TP is there.
Deb just on the other side of this wall. Note the gun difference here, and of course Deb running forward to get all sorts of kills. And Saucy's the only one left alive. He's still healthy, he's got a sheriff. He's also got 4 targets he can drop. He's taking care of one. Seems like he was trying to draw something around his head.
Okay, not even close.
Not even close.
I do love what Depp did there, where Laz TPs and he pushes through the smoke off the TP. These are the types of timings that are not necessarily directly related, but look, instantly Depp's through the smoke, run spraying. Really, really nice from him. Catches 2 players complete back turns because they're focused on the chamber who just TP'd away. Now I am curious here for Loud, how they're really going to condition the map, because this specific comp relies on conditioning certain areas of the map, making sure they're not pushing. And twice in a row now, they've lost the push fight. Oh, what?
Standing on Amali. That's outrageous. And look at the pressure. They're pinching in from both sides of the map. They've gotten corralled. The only way is either through or you flip it to the southern side.
And then Les just walks up tree. Way too much pushing on this north side. Crow has to equalize, and that's a good start. Saucy's low. Pankata 2. Oh,
And
with
he
the fade
swings
prowler.
out.
Spike down.
Again,
Attacker
good
spawn.
recognition of the timing. He equalizes, does exactly what he needs to.
They're aggressive in their swings. They're aggressive in their timings.
Les could get caught here from Les.
Oh, Les might be the one who gets caught out. No, the duel goes in favor of him. And now 10 is left alone. He's still got a Spectre.
They just hurt him.
Going fast. Pankata cleans him up. Very much like we saw on Ascent. Zeta win the first 2, Lab respond.
Yeah, the problem there for 10 was he assumed that they're going to run after they kill Laz, given Laz's lackadaisically rotating. But they're super cautious. They don't actually know where he is. That was filthy.
Yeah, let's look at that again.
A really cool lineup, too, from Sadak.
And it's intended to deny that.
Yeah.
That exact play.
Yeah, well, you can't deny anything from Chamber.
Yeah, that's true.
He does what he wants.
That is true. Speaking of which, he does have an op this round. Light armor to work with. And he seems to be posted up towards B. He's been there a lot.
That's a good
And he's got the rendezvous close by, and alarm bot to make sure no one pushes in as well.
And you keep mentioning the control that they're taking beginning of the map. This time it even nets Depp and Orb. And for the first time, we are seeing Saucy by himself clearing out Dish with a Prowler. But you've seen how Laz is willing to challenge that. I'm worried if he continues to want to do that solo.
Satchel clears out the alarm bot, understanding there's pressure on the other side of the map now, but he continues to push forward. He's got the rendezvous so well set up, though. Like, any pressure he feels, unless he just doesn't see it coming because they walk up behind him, he can get out towards safety.
He just gives up on that rendezvous, actually, because he feels unsafe. They did break that trip. So Les is aware of this fight coming through, but they've actually really controlled all of South Side right now in such a way that they could fight on both sides, both sites.
Face your fear!
The nade could really punish them here.
Nightfall, I didn't believe tagged anyone. Laz with the warning shot through the Viper wall. Haunt cleared out, and now a nade towards tower.
30 seconds
Early. It
left.
actually is going to delay just a bit. Oh, he's been caught out. Sugar Zero had nowhere to go. 10 still trying to hold the angle. Laz over his shoulder, providing cover.
It's all Les here. They have to come through tree and really reconnect with the site.
Depp playing just on the other side of smoke. 13 seconds left. The fast lane goes up. He's waiting for someone to challenge, and there they come. He's only able to get one. 8 seconds left, and I don't know that they're going to pull this off. They're not. Zeta with the 2-round lead.
It was already dire, but because of that smoke that they threw to try to execute, because they knew they had that south side, so they had to break down and cover up the tree. But that fades, and Depp throws a really interesting block. I mean, he literally split the two players.
Just more to deal with.
They've got to contain these less flanks. I think these are going to be the things that if they really want to rank, like get these rounds up, like they needed on Ascent on that defensive side, they need to control that, right? Because he's constantly by himself, and he's constantly finding value on lurks.
Let's play.
Note 4 ultimates on the side of Zeta. You heard the first one come through. It's actually for less. It's Tour de Force online. You see it on your screen there. Operator in the hands of Blast still. And this is very reminiscent to the previous round, Baller. Remember, they took dish control. The spike was still back in spawn. First kill goes in favor of Laz. They can take space on the other side. They can rotate, right? They can pivot around like a pendulum and take that space with the spike in hand.
But it has been time ticking away in a couple of these rounds, too. Taking so long to actually bite back against Zeta, who has flipped it, right? They're consistently taking early pressure, early space.
Pancata stays A, the rest of the team towards B. Spike in hand, they continue to work forward. Sadak weak, Sugar Zero spotted, and Sadak dropped. There's just not much behind this.
One enemy remains.
On the side of Loud, Aspas has the
Spike
Sheriff.
down.
He's got one step closer to having the Showstopper online, but he falls. He'll have that on for the next round, though.
And an opportunity there for them. They wanted to just kind of dry walk up with a fully fueled Viper wall to give them all the time in the world to work those picks. But Sadak was first. He's low HP. Aspas full HP. It's interesting, too, because the desk just brought up the trade stats. Aspas is the guy who's most traded, and Sadak's the guy who trades the most. So just slightly flipping that, unfortunately. They're not able to get any value on the walk-up.
Loud call a timeout here, down 3 rounds. Note, as we think about this and kind of let this one simmer and get us all excited for the next round, there is a Viper Spit, there is a Showstopper, both online for Loud. A team that for this entire half, we haven't seen much fast. We haven't seen much go. It's been very patient. They have tools there to go explosive if they want to here.
I wonder how you're able to utilize those, though.
Yeah.
Given they don't have the Neon,
They don't have Breach.
they're using a Viper, right? You don't really have those tools except in halls, right? That's my only place that I really can see that viably working, at least on this A site. Like a sand push with a Prowler, those types of things to open the door for you.
Yeah.
And then the Viper pick can go down later. Out of tree, it's going to be very difficult, especially given Laz is peaking very early. And you kind of have to wait for Viper Wall to come up. And yeah, this is a very interesting thing to have in mind, right? 65% win rate when they switch to the next half. It was kind of the opposite on Ascent, right? Where Loud was the guys who were like, oh, for sure going to be good on that second half. But for us, I think we're all thinking the defensive win rates for Zeta, no matter what, have been weak. And if they're flipping that in this game, it's a good sign overall for the tournament, but also a massive win condition here.
It's interesting here. Crow holds his fault line, and they still have Paul's control. There's the Showstopper. The Paranoia is there too. The Showstopper goes wide, and Aspas falls. They also dropped the Orbital Strike. They invested so much to deny that control.
And it's huge. Literally no space gained from Boss's ult just then.
I mean, they're no closer than when they started the round.
And everything that was used didn't really find value. Depp was just in that corner. He's been getting there consistently. So they gave up, making sure, okay, The fault line's going to go out, the stun is going out, but they didn't really actually understand what was going on the other side of it, even though that's been happening probably 3 rounds by now.
Yeah. They still have that Viper's Pit in the hands of Sadak. You see him on your screen, no armor, 85 HP to work with. Top shot goes wide, Les wins that duel out. They're going to push him to spawn. Les is pushing him to spawn. He spots him rotating in.
All 4 players here from Zeta have to come through this, right? It's covering, oh, not actually covering the side of Gen there. They find that gap.
Oh, and the kill goes down. There's the Rolling Thunder. It's going to push him back, and they're going to work outside of that, but Les goes untouched. Eventually falls. Numbers 2v2 here. Spike ticking away. 10 so weak, but Saucy finds a kill. 10's got to do it himself, and he's not able to. Loud get to 2. And it was plan B at the end of the day that worked out for him.
Yeah. They didn't need plan B at all on their attack side on Ascent.
Yeah.
Remember, it was just consistently going towards the same site that they wanted to go towards at the beginning of the round. Maybe a little bit of slow default at the beginning. But wherever they leaned, they went. This time, finally, you have a pivot that works. And I think there, Laz really wanted that kill. He knows, okay, I kind of cleared Arcade for a while here. There's not that same Viper wall that's going down. I think we're going to be safe on this side, given Aspas's ult through in halls. Another exploration, though. Again, 4 players here from Zeta.
Tap doesn't have his ult. It was used in the previous round. There's so much utility dumped into this hallway. A flash. Aspas has to back up. 10 with the showstopper. Gets 2. And now the nade to potentially hit the 3rd. Saucy gets away. How the heck did he do that? The thing is, again, they find themselves in a position where they don't have very many options. You've got Laz on one side with the Tour de Force. You know you can't go A. Everyone's still there.
Brutality in that hallway.
And you couldn't see a dang thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now because of how long the round has gone on and the delay, Crow has his fault line again. There just isn't any cue for him to drop that off of.
Dude, they're so comfortable playing Laz, completely isolated on this B site.
Yeah.
Costed them last round, but look at what happens when you go to the other side.
Oh, 10 should have spotted that.
30
Yep, you see him
seconds left.
instantly rotate over Crow close by. The smoke's there.
This angle from Sugar Zero 2 can lock down the round. I think they want to save now.
Yeah.
So that smoke comes down, there's no way in. They don't have, I mean, they have a haunt. Maybe they can force their way through with that, but
I do think you're right. You see it on the HUD. The economy's not great.
no.
For
10
Loud, right?
seconds
Like,
left.
Saucy's okay, sure, and Aspis maybe, but yeah, there isn't very much to go around.
Laz happy to fight right now as well. Tour de Force can expire.
Yeah?
So if you can get any of these guns down.
Here.
Yeah, just no challenge. But what a hold. Again, you see this, the fault line, the Roomba, even with the Prowler in his face, he drops that showstopper, goes forward. Honestly, I still don't know how he doesn't get a 3rd there. As Saucy's trying to jump across the spam and the nade.
Yeah. And you notice, too, that no player on Zeta was really hurt by any utility there, right? No, no blind players. The screens are all visible. On the flip side, it was not that same.
No.
That's not teleport's ready. We should do.
See how they choose to play this out again. The relay bolts down long, as we've seen a couple of times, but this time, look at how quickly Dep rotates off of that.
Yeah.
It's just the bluff that there's pressure going in. And this is going to be a really interesting position to see if they're ahead of them. But no, I think the Prowler down into Hall just cleared out any fake of attempt at pressure there. They can go into A, and it's going to be uncontested.
Yeah, because remember, you just mentioned they're flipping the map entirely. The 4 players that they're just playing 4-1 setups. This time over towards B, though. And Loud's had enough. With reading the fact that they're not in halls, that fault line that was coming down, the stun as well from Dep. That's not happening. There's got to be something else.
Yeah.
The only thing they've seen is Laz at Dish.
Your fear.
Good read here from Loud. And they'll get the sights. They'll force an abysmal retake percentage to be successful here from Zeta.
This may be one of their win conditions if they want to get back into this thing. It's so early, but they find themselves at a deficit, and it's going to be a straight-up 5v5. Les, note, only has a Headhunter. And that may be plenty, don't get me wrong, but it's something you got to keep in mind. Look at him, he tries to get out. No, Les has already fallen, but Dep and 10 do too. A 3v3, the spike planted inside, trying to play around, and if it's not from one side, it's the other. Sugar Zero cleans him up. He's still so weak, though. Playing on the other side of the smoke. A controller duel. Keeping them at bay for now. The flash to turn, and there's the kill. Sugar Zero gets a third on the round. Can Saucy hold them back? No. Laz gets the kill. The defuse is going to come through as well.
Again, the pace of these retakes from Zeta. We saw it on Ascent. They just want to get in and find any sort of picks. And the great thing is they come out with 3 players alive to take that 3v3. Sugar Zero got this, yeah, he was actually behind a second before, gets the spam down too. And the flash is so good from Crow.
They're feeling good after the disastrous second half in Ascent. The vibes are still good.
Of course. Nothing can stop the nice.
4-round lead here. Buy not great for Loud. They want to go towards B.
This is the same look we saw the last time they had that eco round. Just walk up arcade.
Yeah, not the same look from Zeta here. Remember, you mentioned it. It's primarily just been Laz. Oh boy, that's not the start they were looking for. Sugar Zero able to get one back.
Oh, spam.
Yep, tries to stay alive. If they go into tower, they're going to have to deal with depth. And again, this was where they made a meal of the opposition. Last time we saw them on the international stage, Depp not challenged this time at all.
Just avoiding halls.
How do you take this back? You have a judge and you have an op.
Let Laz work challenge while the op shots are going off. Has to go through.
He's gonna get
Oh
challenged.
wait, they're challenging.
Player standing.
Thankfully they trade, so Loud still has this.
Oh my gosh.
He has a judge.
How the heck? Yeah, Sada can't close the gap, and the Headhunter does it for Laz.
Are you kidding me? They challenge halls at the last second, and the best part about that from Zeta, Depp didn't show himself at all that entire time. So they think, okay, if there's nobody peeking yet, surely.
For the judge, at the end of the day, to be the deciding factor in this Red Bull clutch is outrageous. He gets the opening kill, and then Sadak switches to it, and you're not going to hit that from that far away. I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, he has to use the sheriff to keep on this thing around. He's like, yeah, let me just toss this down. Which, a little bit of mind games there could have really, really won, because you expect him to play a little slower.
That's such a massive boon in momentum for Zeta.
Well,
That's the kind of round that can flip things.
yeah, but remember, they had pistols in that round. Wait, fast north side pinch, and the first point of contact has lost for Zeta. What is this? He almost pushed way past that wall. Sugar Zero.
He thought about it. Meanwhile, Les is just going to take as much space as
the timing.
towards
Oh, the
B.
timing.
Timing not great, but there's an alarm bot there. Still on the other. Well, there was. That gets cleared out. Les backs up. Trying to go towards A here. Laz still has that up, and oh, he's going to get smoked off. But Deb down low. Prowler doesn't hit him. Oh, and the orbital strike. Does Deb hold it? He swings out, and he falls. Aspas goes past the fire that's raining down from the heavens, and that's all he's able to get. But once again, the kill is traded back and forth, and Laz finds himself alone, trying to save whatever he can. And the challenge just on the other side of the wall. The elbow betrays him as Laz falls.
That looked like it could have gone terribly for Loud. But Depp just tried to hide inside of that orbital strike and swing out against Aspas after the push came out on top of him.
Which is bold.
Very.
Very bold. Man, he's sat there a long time, too.
Well, the interesting thing is Aspas was not worried at all about the actual site, right? He cleared the top of it, obviously with his vision as he's satcheling, but didn't really pay attention to the bottom side. And again, Les coming through with that late flank. Ends up really punishing, I think Laz comes through when he comes through the door. There's so much there that they have to be concerned about. And they haven't really addressed it just yet.
Well, I think Loud are starting to get a really good read on what Zeta are trying to do here. They had so much dish control, yeah, that they knew that there was pressure coming in through halls, and Les did just walk right into Les's lap, but 10 trades him out. See the Viper spit go away?
Oh, this is so interesting.
It's a fake, and they're gonna bite.
Laz biting here is definitely a problem for them. Oh, the trademark.
It really seems like Loud have gotten to beat on the situation here. the paranoia out. It's just
What?
and of course,
Wait.
that again is enough. Saucy looking to plant, trusting Pancada to cover him. Now note, Saucy has that Nightfall. And they've all retreated to tower. They've all retreated to the northern side of the map. Sadak smoked off.
They have much more control than it appears right now, Zeta.
Face your
There's a
fear!
Nightfall. And they've got him. The Prowler, is he going to hold it to half? He might stick it all the way because you've got Crow as the defensive line, but no, Sadak trades it out. He gets the second two. Sugar Zero going to have to do it himself.
Nice try.
Surrounded on both sides, and he's not able to isolate that 1v1 at the end and get the kills.
What a round for Loud to win.
Round before the switch.
Last tried to bring it back within his grasp, but at that point, Loud gets back on the site. That fake worked really well.
And you can see it unfold at the very beginning of the round.
You mentioned how Loud looks to have the beat on the situation. The thing is, Zeta's only shown 2 looks, really, right? They're playing the 4-1 on one side, or they're playing the 1-4.
Yeah.
And consistently, it's Depp throwing out both the stun from him and then Crow with the fault line too. And again, it's just this time not going halls. Oh, Laz got the tour de force.
And there are 5. Literally everyone is on the other side of this wall. The Prowler, how patient are they? And he's going to hold the angle. The second Prowler, the paranoia. Surely you don't overstay your welcome this much, do you?
Oh!
How?
One tap with the judge!
Of course. And now that's still in tow, but Deb goes aggressive. Sadak able to trade it out. Once again, the line is Sadak. He's got 3 on the round. How much more is there? Saucy and Les, can they get this thing back? They've got the spike, and once again, it looks like it's going to be a fake. Les, draw attention, draw pressure. Maybe Saucy flips it. And as we've seen time after time in this map, in this series, things go very fast, and then the silence just deafening. As no one wants to move an inch. No one wants to make a single footstep.
30 seconds left.
And there it is. That's the cue. Sugar Zero tempted to swing off of that, and well, for good reason. Not a lot of time left. The jiggle. There it is. You spot him. Challenges again, and this time Les wins it out. And they know where 10 is too. Too clean at the end out from Loud.
Just the pivot. We didn't see much mid-rounding, but that round specifically and the round prior, they brought this back to an even game.
3 rounds to clean out the half. We mentioned it. It felt like they were starting to get a good idea of what was going on, and they respond gorgeously.
It's awesome to see King of Chamber, King of Judges, back at it again to Laz. He already used the shorty in the round, by the way. Those were not able to reload it, and he pulls out the judge.
What a half. What a response out from Loud. Zeta still with the lead. We'll throw it down to the desk.
There.
It was an exquisite start there for the Japanese team, but Loud managed to bounce back big time here in the half. Mimi, super impressive stuff there from Loud. I mean, even though that last round in Laz, what a play that was, still, they managed to find those wins where they can.
Again, it feels like shades of map number 1, where we come out, Zeta's looking incredible. They have a great understanding of how they want to play the map. And then as we get a little bit later into things, they pull off some of these massive rounds to recover. They figured out the setup that Zeta kept showing and got enough rounds to maybe make something out of the second half.
It definitely felt like at the beginning, this was even more one-sided, the head-to-head between 10 and Aspas. 10 playing very defensively with the Raze, using his utility to punish the aggression, and Aspas felt like he was driving his head into a brick wall over and over and over again. And yet, the later you got, the more you started to see them figure this out. And I think on the other side of things as well, once you start to get 10 on the attacking half, you know, Aspas will be the one then taking better duels where he's able to defend, but he has 2 people to defend against. It's not just 10 there, it's 10 and them.
Yeah, and talk of 2 people, it will be that kind of double entry duo, and we already got to see some of that in the first half. This pistol round was absolute insanity out of Zeta. Both that Neon and the Raze running all the way in, a smoke to follow it up. The util coordination between those 2 really adds a lot to this map. I think for those trap plays, as well as for those forward executes, this comp works superbly. But in the second half now, it's going to be them working in conjunction. And we saw in some of those retakes how Zeta was struggling to play out that trade game. It's so important now that they're heading to their attack.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out how they want to try and approach this. But from what we've seen, Sideshow, I'm feeling pretty good for Zeta here. I actually do think that we could be going to a map 3 with how things have played out so far.
They've definitely adjusted their style. They used to play shorties in tower, the judge all over the place. We've seen that from them, but we've also seen an aggressive side to the game that didn't appear to be there before. And if they can do that on the defense, I think that they should be able to pull it out here on attack too.
Yeah, well, here we go, guys. The pressure is on for Zeta. They gotta force this game 3. Can they do it in this half? Let's send it back over to Doug and Bala.
Bala, as much as this may look like the exact same picture we just saw, history suggests that it's not going to end the same. Again, Zeta leaning into their strengths here on the attacking half.
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually. The fact that we look at this comp now and we look at it on the attack. How is it going to work, right? We've actually seen a little bit of this from Edward Gaming. But the thing is, you have to be fast because you run out of this bursty style really, really, really quickly. If you don't get something going beginning, then it's going to hurt, right? You only have the 3 Brimstokes and that Neon Wall. You have to get your duelist in. A complete shift in styles.
Much like we saw in the first half, this time it's Less who's here by himself, and there's the vintage take that we've seen so many times. But patience out from him as he holds his position. He's overstayed his welcome. Sugar Zero gets the spike down. And now you've got to deal with the flank, and it's a 3-man flank at that too. And because of that, they can't just afford to leave one person there. You see all of the attention of Zeta turning to the southern side of the map, and the timing's not great! The timing's abysmal! Grow not able to get anything, 10 not either! They've taken that space right back. Laz holding this angle. Pancada's so weak, and he knows they're there. He's spotted ahead. He's able to get away. How much space can Sugar Zero find as he's the one who's going on a crazy flank, but Tasi's just going to hold the defuse. He's going to get it himself. Loud win the second pistol.
They were forced into tree to try to fight the challenge on the backside. But that one hurts because they got the entry. And Crow was here. They had a crossfire set up. It's just not really finding the value. And you can see it right there. The insta swing from the player's tree. Crow's just not ready.
Yeah.
And then the problem after that is they have already the smoke's falling. Remember what I said. You have to get in the site. You have to really get positioned inside of the site too. The smokes fell and they had no cover when they were falling out of tree, when they realized that that tree push was going to be powerful and they couldn't fight it.
No force out from Zeta here. They're opting to just go with the pistols that they have. And with that comes patience. And perhaps the testing of the waters towards B. They've got 4 that way. Fault line to try to clear things out, but the live from Sadak, excellent delay.
Toxin screen down.
Interesting too to see how they prioritize where the orb is going. But they have let one slip past. 10 has gotten through. Again, mind you, he doesn't have, all he has is a sheriff, but he could cause problems here if they establish enough control on this side of the map.
Yeah, if Les wants to reposition into tower, which I don't think he will. He wants to stay on his anchor.
Oh, they know.
They're so aware.
Yeah, they know they've lost it. A second flash. Les has to look away. There was the real threat. 10 falls. Sugar Zero does 2. Pro should follow. Yeah, this was a difficult situation to begin with, and the window to convert was, I mean, minuscule.
Yeah, 30 seconds still here.
left.
Laz gets 1, but it is, the window's gone.
Yeah.
You're right. It's just gone, and I'm concerned here because we might have seen, you know, stats that showed that Zeta's very good on attack on this map, but this is an entirely different comp. 14 seconds left, still 1v3, no chance to plant the spike. It's an entirely different comp, right? And the strengths of this comp are the bursty style of it, with Depp playing the Neon, and again, what you have for tools to follow up on anything.
Right. Flashes clear the way. Yeah.
You actually had Laz lurking on the entire other side of the map at that point, right? Where they're actually already pushing on the site. I don't necessarily see that they're leaning into those strengths just yet.
We'll see if they do it here, as this is a gun round for them. 2 people in light armor. But you're right, this is where you expect, okay, what's this composition built for? It's built to go fast, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be the case here.
Don't forget, on a sense, only 1 round 1.
Yeah.
from Zeta
And
when
what
they
a-
flipped to attack.
And what a freaking miracle that was.
That's true too.
I took every bit of like lucky juice that they had. Les already tagged up. They have a good idea of where they're coming from, and he just stays so late.
I kind of like that too from Dep to not even challenge, knowing he's going to TP eventually.
Just bullies him out of the way. Okay,
I
yep,
mean, come on now.
sure. And now the nade keeps him back. Crow gets the spike down. Dep looking to push forward. The paranoia is there, and he just, Sadak never hit the ground.
There.
His body did.
Yeah. He's got a Bulldog, you've got a Spectre, and then you have a Sheriff. So you have some tools to work with here. They're both going to be coming down from the drop.
One enemy
And
remaining.
they're really just like that. It's extinguished. Aspas flirting with death. Trying to deliver a bit of his own. Still has a Mutil, understanding the challenge is inevitable. And he takes one with him, but just traded out.
But Zeta do what they weren't able to do in the prior map, right? Win the anti-bonus. Force Loud to be in an economic disadvantage. Not disadvantage, but not gain momentum.
Sure, yeah.
Right. So they'll hold on to the lead just slightly. But again, that time, Loud didn't really have the tools to stop any of that pressure that was going on. Les didn't have all he had was his headhunter.
And if you're Loud here, knowing that you won 5 rounds in a row before that one, going back into the first half, you expect that round to go their way. Obviously, if they win it out, it's great.
Sure.
But I don't think they shouldn't be feeling any worse about the situation.
Traditional one-way control in halls from Loud with his comp. And it's the Viper in this.
It's a good opener for Laz. And again, the hit, but take a look at Sadak. Sadak's playing with fire. He's so dangerous, and he goes forward, gets a kill onto Dep.
Where's the rest of the players? They don't get in the sight there. The Molly was so good, and they just don't try to challenge. It's a Molly and a Viper Orb, so yes, it's definitely going to do some damage, but nobody's there to help Dep.
And honestly, if not for Sadak swinging back into that, well, I mean, who expects a Viper there?
For sure, but he knows vulnerable players on the other side. It's a good play from Sadak.
Sure.
Problem here, Zeta, one smoke. One smoke left.
And dire straits here. Again, Laz trying to cause some noise towards B, and that he falls too. But you're starting to see some of the rotations go over. Just as quickly as that happens, Pankata swings back off of the Brimstone smokes that go down. Spike has not made its way out of hallway yet. They've been kept at bay, but they finally explode out, and they get the kills that they need to take control of the site. Sugar Zero with the plan. Aspas has arrived, though, with 30 HP, spamming into that smoke. And now you've got the overstrike you're going to have to deal with, too. A 2v2 here. Sadak,
He spammed him through the ults!
Sadak has his ult, too. If they really want to invest into this, they can secure it. It's going to have to be heroics from Sugar Zero yet again. Can he hold them back by himself? Oh, and if he isolates the gunfights, he's going to get what he's looking for. He's got it to 1v1, and Sadak saves the day. 4 on the round.
The IGL is a monster. He just dives through on that B execute, just shuts it down.
Freaking loony.
And then he stays strong in this one too, actually, as well. This kill on the Dep, okay, whatever. Stops the push, most importantly. Gets Laz, who's trying to flank, maybe make some space, but this right here.
Wow.
If they get that crossfire, that round plays entirely different, right? Sugar Zero has room to play. Aspas doesn't get easy halls control.
Laz has his ult. They still have Sadak's Viper's Pit. Pankata is his ult as well.
You want to play? Let's play.
I hear that toward Force online. A little bit of push towards A. The Prowler keeps him back for now. And where do they go off of this? You see Dep starting to rotate back. Rendezvous with his team. You've got this one way that you mentioned in the previous round is so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, they're set up to nade, paranoia, prowler push, right? As soon as there's anything, actually they're just going to go through it. That gives information. You saw how far away he was.
Yeah.
That sound of his Vandal. But they're not reacting exactly how I would expect off of that.
Another one-way dropped from Pankata.
They're being really slow on reclearing right now. They're worried about this dish. Zeta has a lot of space here in Arcade. There's only 2 players here, but Sadak is here still.
And he still has that Viper Spit. Hasn't used it yet. But surely at any sign of threat, goes down. There it is.
Let's can repeat here in tower. He's there, challenging depth.
This section's last off. He's got to go forward if he wants to deal with this, or else this Viper Spit is going to continue to be a problem. Especially as the round goes on, reinforcements are going to arrive. Now you have the Nightfall. You're going to have to deal with 2. Laz out of the equation. Yeah, they got the spike down, but there's still so much room Loud can work within.
Dep going on the fast flank through underpass. He's going to try to pinch Sadak right now.
The Viper Spit has to be cleared out. And there it goes.
Drop.
They drop it, and Dep is there just in the nick of time. They weren't expecting for it to fall, and they still maintain control.
What a decision, too. He just lets it fall.
Yeah.
That gives him so much more room to actually get through. And don't forget, Spike was not inside of it. So eventually they're going to have to exit. Rather take it on their own terms, and they do. I mean, really nice stuff. It's a cool setup, too. Les, who's playing an off angle right behind that box inside of Arcade. Tower TP for him. And it's set up so that he can maintain control of tower, even though he dies there, for Sadak to have plenty of space to peek out of that pit, to hold on to the pit. All the different variables and variations are possible there. Look at the scoreline for him, 21-12.
He's leading from the front. Doug's far from done. Perfectly healthy. Oh gosh, I thought he was going to hit that. Boy, that was close. Thing is, they haven't explored this dish space a ton, other than Dep's antics with the orbital strike. The alarm bot cleared out, the nades, now they're going to bubble through. Oh, that ult went through. It's time for a little root and toot and finger shooting, and he gets a kill on Sasi. With 5 HP, how much more can he find? He pushes forward, just dances around the other side of the box, and they swing at the same time, but Les gets both. They were so freaking weak.
That is ridiculous. Again, the players on Loud are simply showing up. Les and Sadak right now. Les in the last game and then Les in this round 2, but Sadak entirely this game. It's just too easy.
Even tried jumping into the one-way.
The pinch is happening too, man. That's just silly. That's just silly.
Loud, really from, what, the third? You see it on the timeline, like, they haven't given up very much control and momentum.
Yeah.
Win the last 3 rounds of the first half and just kind of cruise their way through.
Sure.
And I know it's not over yet, but this does feel very reminiscent of Ascent. Zeta won 1 round.
Yeah.
That's all they've won so far.
Much difficult task ahead for Zeta Division. They've got to figure something out because, again, I hate to bring it back, but this composition has gaps. The only success I've seen from teams who run the double duelists on this map, PaperX and Edward Gaming, right? Those 2 teams are difficult to replicate. And Zeta's a slow team.
Yeah,
Both
like
those teams are the opposite extreme.
And even if they, you know, we've seen what, 1 round, as you were saying, where they tried leaning into that, and then the Molly kept him back, right? Like they. It seems like they are very hesitant to commit to the go button, and this composition is built around go.
Yeah. The nice thing is, speaking like the game's already over. Let me wait a little bit because Zeta Division right now has such good things going for them, but they also have such bad things in terms of what's happening on these attack sides.
8 of the last 9 rounds in favor of Loud. How much more can they get? Here's a little bit of aggression. Here's a little bit of go.
There's pace, and there's only 1 player here. Sadak again, though. Flash could push him back.
Toxin
Or he
screen
can just
down.
walk back.
He's staying on site, though.
You've got Les close by with an op
Oh, that's
to
a
help.
stun.
Molly to delay. And just like that, you're not going to easily find your way in. You see the showstopper come through. Crow falls. The delay is there. 10 tries to find one of his own, but how? How does that not kill him? Sugar Zero has his ult. Does he commit to it? There's a paranoia as they're flanking in from the opposite side. Pancado applying pressure.
He's doing it.
If 10 can get away, maybe. But the thing is, the spike is there. They have to commit to this.
Spike down.
They do not have the options to flip the map. They get picked to shreds one by one. Unless 10 can punch back, and no, he cannot.
There's just nothing. After their initial try fails, they try to come out of tower, but there's nothing there. Because the flank is coming so fast. That time you realize Sadak was completely alone on the side. And there all of a sudden, no north side control, even though they start the round coming through that side. And you just get completely ripped apart from all sides. And that's the body language of somebody who's out of ideas.
Yeah, and have fully lost, control of a situation. But they continue. This time they're going, again, with some more tempo, with some more pace, and we've seen...
They can't let up.
Yeah.
This is what they need. They cannot let up. It's only, again, the same strat from Loud. Sadak alone.
Sadak alone, and Sadak is enough. And remember, you have less close by. And you've also got Pankata who's arrived. The paranoia there, Sugar Zero holding his nerve, getting the spike down, understanding there's cover, understanding there's pressure. And Crow tries to take the fight to Loud's doorstep. Can they stop the bleeding here?
Oh.
They've gotten it down to a 2v2, and they both have rifles.
What a shot. They started this round with only pistols. It was an eco from Zeta.
Oh, Laz, down to 5 HP. So heavily messed up. The thing is, they have time on their side. Spike ticking away.
Oh my goodness.
Gun barrel betrays him. He gets it down to a 2v1. Can Pankata do this? Really no reason not to go for it.
Dude, it's not planted for Laz.
Surely not. Surely you don't go behind him. Oh, he hears it. Depp cleans it out. Zeta get to 9.
I've seen this before. Another thrifty round win.
Gotta go.
The first opponent for Zeta's Miracle Run was a Brazilian team in NIP, and it was a very similar round where they pulled out a thrifty when they needed it most. But this, such a tough ask. What a shot.
That shot was filthy.
I mean, the fact that he's able to reposition, he takes the gamble too, because moments ago there was a player holding the back of Jen.
Loud not calling a timeout here. Hanging on to the 2-round lead. You hear tour de force on for less. Flash in his face.
Oh, they're past
has
this.
gotten past the smoke, yeah.
There's no fade to Prowler here.
Do they know? Surely they expected off the flash. There's someone there! But Les, with reckless abandon, swings into 10, gets a kill, and then gets the heck out.
Sadak is here. Dab has to win this.
And he can't. There it is. The tip of the spear has been blunted. The question has been, what else can they find off of that? So far, nothing. Nothing at all. A prime gaming flawless for Loud as they get to series point.
Normally this would be a situation you look, you say nothing left for Zeta, but somehow Laz has 7.1K. So much money in the bank, they still have a chance to bring this to double digits. Loud completely understand what the situations for them winning against this comp are on their defensive side. Shut down, at least get that first entry, delay the rest of the push, and Zeta just has no follow-up.
I feel like Sugar Zero has been holding on.
Both of these guys, man.
Yeah, both the ults, right? Sugar Zero and Crow have been holding on to their ults for a long time. And those are key exec ults.
Yeah, Orbital Strike and the Rolling Thunder here.
Create so much space, you cause so much havoc. And it's just been held.
The buy is actually very weak from Zeta.
Yeah.
Because Laz elects to go for an op.
And he had the bank for it.
Doesn't drop anybody.
Yeah.
Attack side op here from Laz. And he is probably the most proficient, consistent opper on the server. Everybody else opting to not use it as much, right? Nobody's a primary opper. But there's 2 Spectres, and other than Laz, all 4 players here from Zeta have light armor. So this timeout is crucial. The last timeout from Zeta. And they'll have to get through one of Loud's 2. Must-win round, obviously. Match point here from Loud.
So much stacked up against him, man.
And the tactic has to be strong. What are they going to choose to do? It looks slow again. They don't want to challenge Halls early.
Bring them down.
I mean, shoot fast hasn't worked.
And the nice thing here, Loud has a trap play on Arcade. But Laz is the guy who's here, so he can spring this and easily get out to safety.
Quick peek, no one there.
Pancada's just shifting, right? No matter which side they're going to, he's
Yeah.
got a paranoia ready for them. This is so slow. Zeta looked like they're expecting Loud to push in that timeout, after that timeout.
Yeah.
Go for that north side push for some reason, or potentially flip it and go for a tree push, but it just doesn't come.
I think Sadak just creeped up past Dish, cleared out the alarm bot that they had, and then took the orb out.
He's got ult. You're right.
So not only do they feel pressure from the northern side of the map because the alarm bot has been cleared, but he has his ult, as you were saying.
But there's nobody here actually on site. There's Boombot.
No way.
Wow.
Go, go, go.
Position given now. They have to go with 38 seconds left. They smoke off both Sassy and Aspas. So orbital strike, there it is. It now comes through. Got the Rolling Thunder to work with too. Unless they choose to save that for
30
retake or
seconds
something. Sadak is going to be the last at the party. Remember, he has that ultimate online from the beginning of the round.
Is there utility here to deny this? Yes, the Molly just landed. He's going to stick the plan anyways. Sugar Zero is going to be so low.
And there goes, dead. The Viper's pit out from Sadak.
Oh, they lost.
Not providing cover. Yeah, they've lost everything. The Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder pass.
No! Dep!
Dep not able to find anything. Crow and Laz left alone. Laz and Crow have both gotten a couple of big kills. They've gotten Dep down to a 1v2. Laz opshot misses. He's still in so much trouble. And they're just going to double face him. Yeah, he gets one. But Les gets it at the end. The defuse comes through. A 2-0 win for Loud.
And 2 maps in a row, they look dominant on the defensive side. That is an opening game that we wanted to see from Loud at Copenhagen. That's an opening game that we saw from Loud at Reykjavik. We weren't quite sure about what the level of their opponents was going to be. But I think answers or questions have been answered on both sides here. Zeta still look quite decent, clearly problems. But that storyline writes itself, man, right? There was problems at Reykjavik too. They came out and improved game after game.
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to it all. I think the big takeaway here is the questions surrounding Loud, right? After the early exit, 0-2 at Copenhagen, you get grouped, it doesn't look good. Like, who's going to show up, right? Like, was their run at Reykjavik just an asterisk, right? Was it an anomaly? And mind you, it's early in the tournament, it's just been one team, but the momentum, the composure, the fact that they find themselves in slight deficits, but they're able to roar things back and get clean wins. That's impressive.
Yeah, Loud was looking for redemption from Copenhagen to start things off. And I'm not going to say they get it quite yet. They could still get grouped.
It's a good start, though.
But this is a great look for vindication.
Just so clean from top to bottom. And you know, we talked about it a couple times in the map. Sadak was just a demon. 26 and 14 to clean up the map. The risky plays that he took, the aggressive peaks that he took, the fact that he was able to control the map, hold sites by himself oftentimes was very impressive.
Super solid map from him. I think really though, you have to give credit as well to his brain, right? Not just what we saw in terms of the fragging power, because twice in a row, he just understood what was happening from Zeta's attack side.
The last 3 rounds.
Yep.
Again, you go back to the last 3 rounds of the first half and you can feel it's like, hey, Loud just saw something that Zeta have been like tipping. And from that point forward, that was it.
Exactly. I mean, even that last round, right? For him to